than I did. Yeah, than I did before.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are here with yet another fantastic episode. I am one of your hosts, Rochelle.
And I'm Candace.
I'm Angel.
And today we are getting very raw and transparent in some of our journeys as women and our experiences in dating.
Yeah, let's get into it. I'm ready to get into it. Hey, bro.
So my question, I'll open up with a question, and each of us will answer. If we could have a face-to-face conversation with a parent or guardian, what would we have liked to have been taught about dating prior to us starting to date?
Oh, how to properly love ourselves first before getting into a relationship, because I feel like we automatically go into a relationship looking for love, and we don't even know what love is because we don't love ourselves. And I just felt like that was something that I needed to know before prior to jumping into a relationship. Like, that was one of my biggest things, because I went into every relationship just looking for love, and I'm like, I don't even love myself. So I really felt like that was one of the main things I needed to know.
And that's important, I think, because then what happens is you're looking for something and that person may be looking for the same thing, and then you all end up just both being completely damaged because nobody knows where to start. If I could have a very honest conversation with someone, I would want to speak to my father, and I would have loved to have been shown what it means to be a man. I didn't understand the role or the purpose of a man, and I was raised by very independent, masculine women, so I didn't know how to be soft. I didn't know how to allow someone to have control and power in some ways, because I felt that was me giving up my power, and I'm like, no, I can't be weak and give up any power as a woman in a relationship. But over time, I've learned a lot, and I've learned how to tap more into my feminine energy versus feeling like I have to be masculine because that's my defense, and that's what I was taught. And it all stems from a lack of not having a male figure.
And you know what? Now you see that more now, because you realize, like, especially in our culture, we don't see a lot of black men in the household, and now you see more masculine women. And I feel like when we do, grow, we get older and we start to date, we intimidate a lot of men because of that masculine that we have, but they're not understanding that's all we know. Like, that's all we've seen, that's all we know. So you have to be understanding of that too. Well, let me try to help her, calm that down, because I understand that she came from this. So let me try to understand that. So you see that a lot now, more in our culture too. A lot of masculine.
Yeah, I agree with Candace when she said, like, women need to love themselves before they jump to a relationship. Because I know it's a lot of men that know that a woman is, like, weak, and they'll try to tear her down and stuff like that, and she'll be tired and not knowing it. She's still there physically, but mentally she already torn up.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't know when to leave and feel like she needs the man, but she really don't.
That's very powerful.
That's deep too, because that happens a lot too.
That's
like, like, I know somebody now who's going through actually that. Like, they're there physically, but mentally, like, they're gone. And then they don't know how to leave because they're too weak, they're too drained.
Yep, and sometimes you be stuck to dealing with one person for so long, you feel like you can't leave, or you have to have that one person. In reality, you be scared to go look because you're so used to being with that person.
I have a question for you, Angel. If you could have a conversation with some women in your generation and you had to speak on what self-love looks like, where would you tell them to begin? How do they get out of a situation where they're drained, they want to leave, but they don't know how to leave? And it probably stems from a lack of self-love.
Well, see, I'm different from other women my age. Like, they don't know how to leave one alone because they're not a man. See, we all just, if I see something I don't like, or if I tell you something, it's like you go one ear after the other. I'll leave you alone, like I did to myself. I'll de-attach myself first before it'll get deeper than what it really is. So, like, the self-love, I just feel like you should just start dressing up and just going out and enjoy yourself instead of, oh, I'm going to be in the house sad and all this stuff dealing with the boy. And, like, that's what I tell my friend when I see her sad and stuff out the mouth, like, I'm just sad about that. It's other men out here that do you way better than we do. Yeah. So you don't have to be stuck on him and feel like you just need him. And you're not ugly. Like, women are very beautiful to me. And they should really see that. Some women don't see it because men tear them down to the point where they feel like they are ugly. So, for the poor.
Wow.
I mean, that's how I help with the girls my age. Like, I tell them, just dress up. Then he'll see that,
Because it starts within. Like, you have to build your confidence. And it starts within. So, I agree with you on that. Like, you got to start being more social. Like, people feel like when they get down and depressed and they feel like they got to isolate themselves, like, you're digging a hole for depression. Like, that's where the suicide come in. That's where, you don't want to be messed with. You push people away. So, yeah, it does. It plays on your mental. So, yeah, you definitely got to start within, like, making a choice to get up every day. Look, I don't feel good. Hey, still get up, put on some clothes, put on some makeup. Even if you don't wear makeup, try it. Like, whatever makes you feel pretty, do it.
Yeah, you have to be intentional about doing it. And, like, you got to be aware that you need to do it.
But this should be like a priority.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even when you don't feel like it. Like, do it.
I think too, a lot of women, as you were saying earlier, they don't know how to love themselves.
Yeah.
So they get in relationships and get completely dissolved. And honestly, if we're being truthful, it becomes fair to many men because now they're tasked with this great responsibility of pouring double the abundance into this woman when she doesn't even have it in herself. So really, truly, not much they're going to be able to do. She's still not really going to feel it. Mm-hmm. It's not inside of her. Like, it's so important, I think, for women to get it and understand it.
And I also feel like this baggage that you're putting on someone else to help make you happy when you should already be happy. You should be the one to already come in the relationship knowing that, hey, I'm happy, I'm confident. Like, what can we both bring to the table? Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to bring my baggage and see if you can figure it out to help me be happy. Like, I feel like that's kind of selfish, but at the same time, if you don't know, you don't know. Mm-hmm. So that's why I feel like loving yourself is something that I think we should all be taught. Mm-hmm. Even as a parent teaching you about relationships, she should first teach you, like, okay, look, I'm going to teach you how to love yourself first. Like, go out here, let's go shopping. Let me show you what it feels like to, buy your own food. Go out and buy your own, instead of looking for a man to buy you purses and jewelry and stuff. Like, go out and start buying that stuff for yourself.
Right. Sometimes people, they love these days just how much money this person got. Yeah. And like, I feel like it's not like really affection and stuff like that. When people is more buying things and trying to follow up behind social media. That's why my teacher asked us the question of, do you think that social media has made it better for life or worse? And I told them worse because you have people out here trying to be something that they're not. Yeah. And like in relationships, money bagging art, people want to be like them, but they don't know what they go through behind closed doors. They go through the same thing we go through.
Exactly. And people are only showing their highlights for the most part. I mean, they're not going to show you crying in the bedroom because you just saw a text message in his phone, or like they're not going to show
all
you
the different females that's calling and texting. They're not going to show you all that. They're not going to show you where he beats on me behind closed doors. They're not going to show you social media dress things up so good and have people think that other people's life be so good and it's not. And I tell people all the time, social media is only going to show you the good. It's not going to show you the bad. So you got to look at every situation. Okay, yeah, it looks good, but I wonder what else is going on. And a lot of people don't look at it. They look at, she got this, and she got that, and he got money, and I need me a man like that. So it ain't always good. It's not.
Men that spoil you sometimes be the ones that really do bad too. They can post you and all that and still be embarrassing and talking to everybody else. Mm-hmm. That's one thing about the women these days. They want a man to post them and stuff and really don't know what they go behind closed doors. Like never do
Yeah.
like a food.
Yeah, I think too, if we're being, even more raw into the conversation, it stems from the dynamics within many black families where verbal abuse, emotional abuse started in your home first with your mother. And definitely as women, a lot of ours started with our mothers. We didn't know what a relationship, a healthy relationship looked like from the type of relationship we had with our mothers that were manipulative, that were, verbally abusive. If I've always had short hair. So, I mean, I was called bald headed many days. And it wasn't until I got, it wasn't until I got to a certain age in my life where I really started to identify we're all of different shades and we all look different. Embrace that difference. You don't have to fit into the stigma of what we were conditioned to believe is the European version of beauty where your hair is straight or is long. Like, embrace who you are, and I promise you, all our body shapes are not meant to look the same, hair textures. Be you and be confident in you. That will be my message. If I could just embed that into the brains of women, black women. Love yourself first, and don't stay stuck on what you didn't know from a parent or guardian. Once you get to a place in your life where you realize, oh, I need some work, do the work.
Yeah.
Do your own work.
Yeah. Accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about taking accountability. And I say this too, because I used to get stuck on my past. Basically, I used to say, well, this didn't work out for me. This I can't go for it because this happened, and my family traits, and we have generational curses too. And I was just saying, well, my family didn't do this, and my mom didn't do that. And I used to get stuck on it, but I had to realize that's not your destiny. That's not your future. You have to look at things differently. So keep that in mind too. When I look at everything, all the losses that I took, I don't even call them losses. I count them as learning experiences. So everything that I actually went through, now I don't look at it, oh, okay, yeah, it's a stumbling block. I look at it, oh, everything that I lost wasn't even a loss. It's a lesson learned. So you gotta look at everything that you're going through or that's in the past, look at it as a lesson learned.
Yeah, if I could ask my dad a question, it would be like, how can women not act as a mother to me? And when I say that, men would depend on the woman they're with so much, and the woman would try to be there for the man more than he's there for her. When he damaged, so she try to be there. When he don't have nowhere to go or need money and all this stuff, she try to be there. Even when he probably doing her wrong, stuff like this. Because I see stuff like this still this day. My friend, she deal with this boy that had nothing going for himself, and she giving him her paychecks and taking him where he needs to go every second.
But I feel like she first has to identify herself first, because she don't see herself as worthy to just leave him alone. Because if she keeps falling for all these things that he got going on and seeing that if he can't contribute to nothing, she don't know herself worth. She really don't. Because you got so much potential when you dealing with somebody who's bringing you down, basically is holding you down like a weight. That's definitely what he is, a dead weight.
Right. I mean, understand love is taught. So what can you teach someone based on what you know love to be? That's completely
not. Yeah, it's not. It's not. And even if she don't know what love is, then she needs to take some time. Although it might hurt her and say, "Hey, I gotta let you go. I need to find out who I am. I need to go on a journey to help find me. You better love me. I gotta let you go because you're not helping me, and I'm not helping me by staying here with you. So I gotta do something to help me. Because clearly you're not."
Right. Bye, totally bye.
You definitely gotta know yourself first. You really do. Because if you don't, you will fall for anything somebody has taught.
It's like a man, he can tell you that you're not beautiful,
and you get ripped up.
It's like nothing matters besides what he say.
Yeah.
That's the mindset they'll have. Like, I don't care what you say. You can tell me I look good. If my man don't tell me I look good, I don't feel like I look good. That's the mindset that some of them have.
And that's the truth.
Have you all ever been in a friendship where he say jump and she'll say how high, and it really created some type of friction in between the friendship?
Yeah.
Like how do you start having a conversation with someone you care about dearly as a friend, and you see a man that's interfering, and not that you're just hating on what they have, but you can see the manipulation, you see the deceit clearly, as well as everyone else around you. Do you all have a talk? Do you just say, well, perhaps she'll wake up one day and realize this is not it for her?
Well, my whole thing is it's all about your friend. You know who that friend is. You just have to know the way to approach that friend. If you know that their friend don't like to be told what to do, then you might have to just sit down and your approach might have to be like, well, I've been seeing this and I've been seeing that. What do you think? Do you think that's okay? Because I don't think that's okay. Because some friends feel like, if you're girl, you need to do this, you need to do that. Then they feel like, dang, why she coming at me like that? But like I said, too, that friend. So you know what approach to take to that friend. And some friends you can't tell it to. Because they feel like in their head, whatever they got going on is their business. Mm-hmm. And in their head, it's going the way that they want it to go.
Yeah, like,
so, you
like the way I am, like when I see my friend dealing with something, I'll say something to them like one time, I'll approach them like respectfully. Now I do have a couple friends, but they, like you said, they don't want to hear, they don't listen, like they still go do what they want to do. So therefore, I think this situation, not that they'll go back, I don't get it realize. They'll see one of the different portrayed to be. Sometimes you just can't help everybody. You gotta let them help themselves.
Yeah, because some friends you got to let them know they Some friends you can't tell them anything. You gotta let them see it for themselves. Cause I have friends that I told, well, I know one, and I'm like, you know what, I experienced the same thing. Like I went through that. I see the red flag. But if that person in their head they don't see the red flag, I'm good, this and that. Sometimes you just gotta say, okay, step back. Still be their friends, but don't get involved in whatever it is. Because some friends feel like, if I ain't, is she jealous? Mm-hmm. And then you got some friends that'll be like, well, I'm gonna just see what it is. I'm gonna look into the red flag.
Yeah, some actually listen and try to take the advice. Like some just, she got in my business while she trying to tell me how to work my relationship and stuff like that. But really, you just be trying to help them from getting into a worse situation that they already in.
I had a friend who she was telling me about one of her friends being in like almost abusive relationship, and they were out and he was with them, and he was yelling, and he was in like the public yelling at her, and she stepped in and told him like that's disrespectful, like don't do that, like respect her while we're out. I don't care what y'all got going on, but respect her. She got mad at her for intervening. And they fell out because of it.
Yeah, some women do be scared of me. Like, she probably was scared of him. The friend I go home with them anything. This is going to be them too. You probably did something worse to him when I got home. Because she said something to herself.
I think sometimes it comes down to showing people grace, because it's so easy to be like, girl, what? You're upset with me and I'm trying to help and save you. But if you're not in the person's shoes specifically, you don't know the challenge of that person getting herself out. Though she may want to leave. Just because people stay does not mean they want to stay. Yeah. Literally, there are so many mental, emotional factors that go into a person staying. Mm-hmm. And when a man can identify he has that kind of power, ultimately he's the one making all the decisions for what you do in your life until you can shift yourself out of it. I've had a friend where it was mind blowing, and I was younger then, so I didn't truly know how to process. She was being physically abused. He had nothing going for himself. Had been to prison, off and on, like that's all he knew, the street life. Nothing going. She was at Jackson State, had enrolled in Jackson State. He found out she enrolled, jumped on her, blacked her eye, and I'm like,
wow.
And she came to live with us for a short time. my mother was like, baby, I don't know what he has going on, but you know, him walking in and out of my house at night is not gonna work. Like, he's gonna have to go. Woo. She said, if he can't stay, I can't stay. And I was like, what? But as a 17-year-old young woman who hadn't started dating, and again, my only experience were from 2 independent women, so I'm like, girl, what? Hell no, you better get on let him go back to the source somewhere, you know what I mean? I didn't understand it, but now I get it, and I've gotten to a place where I show people grace.
Yeah.
I can look into your situation and say you should get out, but I mean, if I'm being truthful, I've been in situations where it took me a long time to get out of them.
Yeah. But I ain't gonna lie, I know I have. I've stayed in a relationship for years and was wanting to get out. So I can't relate to that. It's not that I was scared to leave. It's just, it was so many things that were keeping me there, and I had to realize that those things, they still matter, even if I stayed or if I left. So I can relate to being in a relationship and wanting to leave.
I would ask the question about dealing with toxicness, like, you know, how do you know when the man really is manipulating you, you know?
That's a good
that
one.
That is good, but, and I say that's a good one too, because I feel like they come in so mean, like come in with their poker face and you don't know what to expect because they done got so good at being manipulative. And it's like, you really gotta be on your game and be like focused and realize, you know, and try to figure out their true intentions. Like, that's the only thing I can really say is try to figure out what their true intentions and what their purpose is with you. Because if they don't want anything from you, like, you'll know. You definitely will know.
Yeah. And I say one, accept that everybody enters your life does not come in to do you well. So if that seems to be a person who identifies with being an enemy, get them out. Yeah. Even if it is a romantic partner, everybody is not coming in to like really help build you and uplift you. I mean,
do they words match their actions? Like, I'm big on it, because I used to go out just with that person to tell me. And he was like, every time, like, you ain't doing what you've been telling me you was gonna do. So now when they tell me something, I just say, okay, then I'm looking at your actions. And if you ain't got an action no more, once I see you showing me that you're not doing what you said you're gonna do, I don't know, because you wasting my time. People can tell you what they want from you all day.
Yeah.
They can tell you what they need from you all day, what they gonna do for you all day. But are you really doing it? You coming through on your words? Because if not, you wasting my time. You don't know. Yeah. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, this one question that it's still on the topic. So, like, how do y'all feel about a female approaching another woman about their man? Like, say for instance, the
Barbara
man,
and
she is mentally messed up. So when I was telling y'all about the situation earlier, like she can't leave him alone because she feel like she need him, or that's the only person who really matters in her life. So the dude texting the other females, and she looked through his phone and see that he was texting the females, saying, oh, he wasn't texting them first. They started texting him first, and she'll go text the female and, you know, try to fight her and stuff. How do you, like,
baby, she needs some counseling. Yeah. Because she's so broken to the point where she want to go with whatever she thinks is right in her mind and whatever he's telling her. Whatever he's telling her is right. She needs some help, baby. She needs to let him
and
go.
Right. The signs are obvious.
Yeah.
She's choosing to, you know.
She want to be, she's settling for that. That's what that is. She definitely settling. And after a while, she gonna run herself regularly, and somebody gonna end up hurting her. Or she gonna end up hurting herself. She gonna end up doing something to herself, or somebody gonna end up doing something to her. And he don't care about it, because look, he keep doing the same thing over and over. He don't care a lick about it.
Yeah, I feel like another question would be like, how can a woman help a man that's like broken? Like, he don't have love from his mom.
And we just saying this because, like, on that couple, I think on the last episode that we did, we were talking about broken men. And we had a man that was actually on here. And it was just like he said, they gotta actually want to have that help. Like, they actually gotta be the ones who want to be like, look, I'm tired, or I don't realize that I'm broken, and I know I need some help. Like, I gotta want to help. He gotta want that help, because if he don't, it ain't nothing you really can do.
It's not. I mean, you're just going to be beating a dead horse, essentially. And there are men who have been broken, know they were broken, and quickly decided what they wanted out of life and made those changes. So I agree with Ken. If he's truly desiring of it, I'm all for, giving energy into it, but know when to step back and not put too much energy in, because then you'll end up broken.
Yeah. Because you will. Because you giving so much energy to something, and it's draining you. It's really draining you. Because, like, from my experience, dealing with somebody that was broken, they recognized that they were broken, knew that they was broken, but didn't know how to fix it, or didn't know where to start. And sometimes they don't need to be knowing that they broken until you actually sit down and have a conversation with them. And then they be like, well, dang, I never realized it. Like, it never crossed my mind that I was looking this way, or I made you feel this way, or I had all these red flags. Sometimes they don't know. And they don't even know where to start. And that'll be a good starting point. Like, they need to get somebody who's, like, marinated in that thing. Who come out here and tell them, like, look, I know how it feels. I'm a male, I understand the hurt. And then, them growing up and have to not be in tune with their emotions because they're taught that, you're supposed to be strong black man. That I think we should look into helping them get that started too.
You really could. Like, so how would y'all feel if a man that you just started talking to tell you, he doing things like he still feel like he free and stuff, and then you confront him about it, and he tell you, I'm sorry, I put you through this, but I never been in a serious relationship before. Like,
again, I feel like it's that person.
And it all boils down to what that individual's threshold of patience looks like, understanding, compromise, how much of the fire she wants to be put in before she feels burned, because you have men that you encounter that are in that space, and the truth, they just truly don't know. You also have those that are in that space and that blossom to be beautiful men, beautiful husbands, beautiful fathers.
They could be grooms.
Right. Go ahead.
Like, I see, because you want it. I see there's a desire, because I see that you want to be with me, and you really trying to figure it out. So let me help you. But if you feel like, oh, well, that's just the lifestyle I've been living, and I can't change that, so this just me, then you need to just go on and let him go, because then you're gonna be wasting your time. It's gonna be a waste of time, a waste of energy. You're gonna be just like the girl, going through the phone and texting females. Who want to deal with it?
Nobody. So I think if they can identify if it's worth waiting, if it's worth the fight, because I don't think every beautiful relationship started out beautiful. I mean, there were some great challenges there, and I do believe that sometimes we as women, we give up too easily.
Yeah, as soon as we see something wrong we don't like, we tell them one time, they don't fix it, we just leave.
And you know what? It was Rochelle that really had me, it really got me to understand the grace part, because God does have grace on us every day, and we mess up every day. And we just can't start cutting people off the first time that they do something. Because God do have grace on us. And Rochelle really helped me with that, girl, because there's been plenty of people out and just snip. Like, look, I ain't got time, I gotta go. But we have to understand that everybody's not perfect. People mess up, and if they got the potential and they see the potential, because some people, they don't see the potential that you see in them. So you will definitely be wasting your time if you see that potential and they don't. But once they see the potential in themselves, and you see the same potential, and you see them trying, then you can have grace with that person. But if they don't see the potential, but you see it, and they just like, well, this the lifestyle, don't waste your time. Because maybe they'll get later on down the line and realize it, but you don't want to waste your time and wait till they get down there. How many years that might be? 6, 7, 8.
I feel like sometimes we really be, like, sometimes in a relationship, you kind of prepare the man, like, how to be better for the next one, you know? Like,
Yeah.
the stuff that y'all was dealing with, the hard times and stuff, probably changed his perspective on a lot of stuff, and he know what to do and what not to do with the next one.
But you know what? I found out with that though. You might be doing that, and it might be God's way of using you to help him in that journey. But you also learned the lesson out of it too, because you learn how to deal with men. After this, I feel like y'all both learned from it. You might have been that woman to help him to be better to another woman, but God's created you to know how to experience some things. Then when your man come along or another man come along and you see the red flags, you already know, like, I already dealt with that, so I already know.
Yeah, but what y'all was saying with the grace and stuff, like, you know, forgiving people, like, even though, you know, you still see the same red flags with the next man, but you actually see him trying to, like, fix it, you know, instead of just coming straight off when you first see the red flag you saw in the last relationship, you try to work with him, you know.
And I think, you know, each red flag is going to be different from one person to the next, but from one relationship to the next, you can decide if this is the starting line for me back at this red flag, or have I already overcome this red flag and will not deal with someone who now exhibits this red flag.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Because again, we're all coming from a place where we're going to constantly be evolving, so that means we're constantly working on ourselves. But if you again are starting at the same starting line that he started, don't do it, because you know what that start felt like.
Yep.
And you know what it took to get you from one point to the next point.
So you best to start over on what you was going.
You're putting yourself through the same hurt.
Yeah.
And you didn't learn the lesson from that first time.
So that depends on you. Like, if you know you seeing the same red flag, but you see that he's trying, so do you want to go back through that? You want to deal? You want to see, well, let me sit here and help him and see if he gonna do right. Do you want to do that? Because if you want to, then you can do it. But then who's to say he might not? He might leave again and go be with somebody else, and you know, put yourself back through the same thing. Like, do you want to do that? So it's totally up to you. If you feel like that person gonna change once you see that red flag and you see him trying, well, yeah, he gonna change. But if it's taking too long to change, then you know you're going back through the same cycle.
Yeah, and your too long is subjective to you. To you. My too long is probably a month.
Or mine, maybe a week. But it depends on you, right?
So you see what I mean?
It depends on you. And
again, so that's why I say know you. So really and truly, we start all the way from the start of the conversation. Love yourself, know yourself.
Yeah.
Because then you will know what you will and won't allow. You know what you can and can't build with.
And you know what love is. And I say this too. Just like they say, yeah, baby, I bring the table. But look, I already got my table set up and got chairs. What can you add on to the table? Because I feel like we go into a relationship expecting them to bring the table or to bring some chairs. No, ma'am. You need to go into the relationship already having your table, which means already loving yourself. I already know what love consists of. I already knowing what to accept, not to accept. Because I feel like when you don't know those things and they come into your life and they bring those things and they bring that happiness with you to you. And then when they leave, they take it with them. So now you're broken, now you're depressed, now you don't know how to get over them. And I feel like if you go into that thing already having all those things, he leaves, then okay, you good, because I was fine before you came in here. Like, you just added a little dessert to the table.
Yeah.
The table already set up before you come. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you ain't doing nothing but adding on to it. That's why I feel like loving yourself first and knowing what love is and consists of and having it before a person comes is better, because then when they leave, you don't have to worry about going into this deep depression.
They didn't take all of you with them.
They took a little, you took the dessert and the salad with you.
But I saw larger apple pie over here. So
I still got an entree over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm still good. I can still make it. I'm still going to go out here. I'm still going to be happy. I'm still going to dress up. I'm still, you ain't take everything that, you didn't steal my joy. You just added to it. And I feel like that's the importance of knowing and loving yourself first.
Yeah, so that must definitely be the thing I would embed into younger women coming from middle school and like high school. You know, you gotta love yourself first before you can just jump into a relationship to keep you from getting hurt.
So I have 2 questions. The first one I'm going to ask Angel, what do you see as a common problem in your generation of dating?
I feel like trust and communication. It's like these days they don't really, if something a person don't like dealing with their boyfriend or girlfriend, they not gonna just simply say something right then and there. They gonna wait probably a day or a week and just be mad at it. Just be mad about it. Like they not gonna just sit up here and talk about it and try to fix the problem. They rather be mad about it. And like with the trust, if you already been in past relationships and y'all was already like this here, so when you get with somebody else, you're not gonna know, oh, they might do me the same way, so let me just act how I used to act. Or like for example, if you was with somebody who always lied and cheated on you, the next person you get with, you gonna say, oh well, let me already be on my game. They might lie and cheat on me like they did. Folks be stuck on their past relationships and don't try to move from it. That's really what I think the problem is. Trust and communication.
So it's no difference in our generation.
Yeah, because I think we talked about that too. And when it comes to communication, and I had to learn it because I ain't always learned it. And I always learned, from my past relationship, not talking and being mad. And you really just hurting yourself, really, honestly, because I feel like when you don't say how you feel at that given moment, then you let other things like build on. So it could be something simple and you mad about it for 3 other days, then you find other things to be mad at, and then that builds up, and before long you mad at this person and you hot water come through and you ready to fight, you ready to leave, when you could have just simply said, hey, you did this and this made me feel some type of way, and y'all could have talked about it right then and there. But when y'all let things build up instead of like a building block, it just adds. It really all boils down to communication, like letting that person know how you feel right then and there. Don't wait till tomorrow or next week and something else come along and bring it up, and then that person like, well, I ain't, it wasn't intended that way, or I didn't feel that way when I said what I said, or I did what I did. It could have been nipped in the bud right then and there, but you let it build up so much to where you don't even care what they have to say now, because you got a list of things that now that you made at the person.
And it's self-harm, because what's happening is you're not knowing how to tell someone what your needs are.
Right, it is.
And it's a reflection of needing to heal some inner child, because perhaps you grew up in a home where you were taught to not express yourself. You were taught to not really have desires outside of what someone else controls you to think and do.
Ooh,
so it's a time where you really can reflect and say, why do I do this? Why do I wait weeks and days and then just pile this on top of this? How can I shift the paradigm so that I can do something completely different?
And then not only that, you're teaching that person too to actually communicate with you. And
exactly.
Then you are, because that's letting them know. With Daniel, I feel like when she have a problem, she always come to me. So when I got a problem now, let me go to her. And then my thing is too, when people, you say communicate, it ain't always about talking, because you got to listen, and it's always about your tone and how you approaching that person. When you approaching that person, or you attacking that person, like, you always doing this, well, I feel like, this happened and this transpired. Like, it's all about, you got to know the tone, you got to know your approach. It's all that is communication.
And nonverbal cues.
Yeah, you got to know all of that. You got to read body language, you got to know all of that. So be an active listener. It's like all of that plays a part in communication.
Yeah, then another reason I feel like my generation of relationships don't work, because the dudes always focus on having hoes. Like, they feel like they can't be loyal to a woman because they
talk about that too.
Been hurt from a past woman. The females be so stuck on trying to talk to the next female dude because she feel like she's better than that female.
That's wild.
Like, then to me, that shows how low she is as a person. Because why would you want to talk to your friend or boyfriend? Like, that's somebody that you were close to.
Hurt people.
That's what it is. And social media plays a big part in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
All the influence, like you got all this going on the TVs, on the movies, on social media sites. You see this all the time. The rap stars, they want to have hoes. You see the females jumping from one man to the next famous man to the next famous person. You see that, so it's like now it's a trend. It's influencing the younger generation. So that's what you see now, and that's what they want to be like.
Yep, and some people they just so stuck on who looked the best and all this, right? Like sometimes this stuff you can have the baddest female and she won't know how to treat you because she's so stuck on having broke men and all this stuff, and she just
And that's just looks. You know, we talk about inner. We talk about the way in which you think. We talk about your hygiene. Just because you look good does not mean it's all put together well.
It's definitely not
at all. It's like don't get caught up on that.
Because we need to talk about that too tonight. We need to talk about these hygienes and y'all going to the doctors. That'll be another subject for a different day.
I definitely have myself. Yeah.
Keep that thing in check. Clap.
Because a lot of y'all don't want to go to the hospital, to the doctor. Like, why? We can talk about that.
That's definitely another subject. So I have another question. Okay, at what age did we each start dating? And if you could change the age, what age would you, looking at what you know now, looking at you now, what age would you have started dating? And why would you have changed it?
Ooh.
So I started dating at 18. My first boyfriend was at 18. And if I could go back and change the age in which I started dating, I would have started dating at a later age after I graduated college. Just because I feel like I focused so much of my college years on a relationship, and well, that particular relationship, and that's all I wanted to be consumed with is, trying to come home, and I didn't truly experience college the way I would have liked to, based on my own decisions and trying to get home every weekend. And then there were a lot of, teachings that I saw where it was perhaps if you date someone outside this race, that will be the greater man. So I feel like I was doing it also to prove a point, but I wasn't as mature as, though I thought I was a whole lot mature back then at that age though, in comparison. But looking at me now as a 32-year-old, I wasn't mature enough or even understood me enough to go give me to somebody else. And again, that's when I was in my prime, like, what, who, what?
Okay, now.
So yeah, if I would have waited a bit just so I could understand myself more before I tried to share me with someone else.
Girl.
Well, I started actually at 15. And to me, I feel like that was an early age. When we get 18 now, I probably still awake. Cause when I was 15, I was still up in 9th grade. That was beginning of my new life and stuff like that. And I was I really didn't know nothing like that. I heard stuff from my mom, but I tried to learn also so I could learn from my mistakes. To me, when I was 15, I like she said, she felt like she was mature because they say females mature faster than men. So I feel like I was mature and understood some things, but like she said, I wasn't experienced. I wouldn't talk to nobody. I wouldn't really go nowhere. Try to talk to other people. Now that I see college, I still don't talk to people. I'm still trying to open up to talking to people. But I always had that mindset, if I talk to somebody, I'm just talk to them. So it's you shouldn't be like that. You should be able to explore. So.
And that's cool.
Oh, I'm going to say that I started, it was 15, 16. And you gotta keep in mind with me, I grew up with a Mexican mom, and she was very strict. She was in the church, so it was a lot of things that I could not do Like, she didn't even know I was there. I just said, hey, I'm gonna jump out here. I'm gonna date and do what I want to do. Sneaking and trying to date and talk to someone and sneaking out and saying that I'm with my friends and stuff. And if I had known the things that I know now, I definitely would have waited. Like, I would have enjoyed my friends, the time that I could have spent with my friends, or just education-wise, focus on me getting, like, goals and dreams that I had for myself. I definitely would have focused more on that, because I felt like a lot of that trying to do it early really took me through a lot that I didn't have to, a lot of things that I didn't have to experience right then. Like, I could have healed off from it, but going through depression early because wanting to be with somebody and they don't know either. They young, just like I'm young, and they, I love you and this and that, or I like you, and then you see them with the little girl next door, and you're like, well, wait a minute. A lot of things, I could have just waited on and experienced later on in life, but I ended up experiencing it at a young age, and I could have just, saved myself the trouble. And I really see what my mama was talking about. Y'all, just stay focused on this, and when you want to do your own thing, you already got it in your head, like, you gonna do it.
Yeah, because I feel like it did help me, like, knowing the stuff that I was going, like, dealing with then, and knowing the stuff I see now, I know how to deal with it. Like, what she said about the self-love, I had started loving myself. Like, I really fell in love with myself, like, when I was, like, 17, and I'm 18 now, and it's like, if I talk to somebody, I'm not going to settle for less, and I'm not going to really just deal with you. I'm going to know how to, like, I ain't going to be stuck on you, I'm sad somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to leave you alone and still be happy with myself and enjoy my life, because, you only live once.
Yeah.
And when you start dang young and stuff, you feel like your life is, like, centered around that right there, when it's really not.
Yeah. And then with that, too, what you were just saying about loving yourself first, and how you build your confidence, and that confidence, that sticks out, too. Like, your confidence will sell you, baby. Like, it'll let them know. And you attract men. People don't, and women don't get it too. Like, you don't even have to dress a certain type of way to attract the man that you want. Your confidence alone, you can walk into a room and it will sell you, baby. You can have on a garbage bag.
right.
But your confidence alone will sell you. And people, a lot of women don't understand that. And they be beautiful, but they feel like, let me take this, let me wear this, and let me put this on. I'm gonna attract this man. He gonna love me. No, baby. If you just, you got it, your confidence will sell you. You don't even got, he will notice you. And that's too what you were saying, like, you fell in love with yourself. Because I made I said this about my self-love journey, and I'm still going on in October the 1st. I want to go on a self-love journey with me. And I do realize people, we fall in love with each other too. We fall out of love with ourselves too. Yeah. And I feel like, if you have the right man to come in and he's manipulative enough, you already here. Your confidence level is already here. He already know that. He can come in, bring it up here, just to bring you back down here. Just because he knows he can do this. Yeah. And you got females who do that. They be right here. You can tell they just so in love with themselves. You have a manipulative man to come in. I see all this. Let me feed into her so I can bring her up here, and I can knock her back all the way down here. And that way, it's like a manipulative thing. It's a mind control thing. People do it all the time. Well, women, they do it all the time, and they fall out of love with themselves too.
And it's jealousy, and I think that's the one thing both men and women should understand. We can equally be jealous of one another.
Yeah.
A lot of women say just because he's a man, oh no way, yes, he too could be jealous of you.
And
pay attention to the conversations he's having. Pay attention to when you're trying to announce something positive in your life. How does he respond to it? How does he compliment you?
Yeah. I was in a relationship would get mad because I would want to dress up, and I'm going somewhere with you. What you don't want me to put? What you want me to put on some rags?
He didn't have what you had in you, and that's what it was. So he wanted to dumb you down so that you can match his mediocrity.
Yeah. Why you wearing that? Yeah. I'm excited, and I got a lot of joy in my life right now, and you, why?
Decide what you deserve. This is so key, and I think like this is where I had to get myself to. I can remember when I first started writing poetry, and for me it was therapeutic out of a situation that I was experiencing. And one of the poems that I had written was called like Fragments, and in it, you know, it just kind of says something like, I think in the cloud of my flaw, I once saw a penny worth more than or a jewel worth more than the penny you flawed. So one, you got to identify, are you the diamond in the rough? Are you the penny on the ground? Are you the nickel underneath someone's shoe? Like, what are you worth? And if you see someone is treating you less than the standards of what you know you are worth, because when we talk about jewels, we're talking about something that people value. What are you going to decide you want to be? So once you can figure that out, then you can start choosing people in your life. And it's not just romantic partners as well. We're talking friendships.
Yeah.
We're talking family connect, right? You can start weaving, put these people in a box. Okay, I can only call you for this, or perhaps I don't want to call you at all. Really start building a tribe around you that's going to support what you know is true about you. But you have to know what's true about you first before you start trying to force someone else to see something in you that you don't even see in you.
Right.